Welcome to today's session. This session we are going to see about the topic tariff. And what is tariff? How we can calculate or what are all the type of tariff? In this session we are going to see. And what is tariff means? The rate at which the electrical energy is supplied to a consumer. So, which cannot be same for all type of consumers. The tariff includes the total cost of producing and supplying the electrical energy plus the profit. While fixing the tariff means what tariff means? The consumption of per unit of electricity, fixing the cost per unit is called as the tariff. So while fixing the the best tariff fixing is the cost per unit can be fixed by a nominal profit. So what are the amount of investment in that particular project and plus reasonable profit as a return. So this should be considered while fixing a good tariff. And objective, what are the objective we can fix for the tariff is good recovery of cost on the capital investment in transmission and distribution system. Second thing, the tariff should be recovery of cost of producing electrical energy and a suitable profit on the capital investment should be fixed. This may be a best objective. Suitable profit on capital investment with minimal profit and recovery of cost of operation and maintenance of supply of energy electricity energy, for example metering, equipment, building. These all cost should be included while considering for fixing the tariff. So production of electrical energy, and then capital investment, and third one the cost on operation and maintenance of the supply of the electrical energy, and suitable profit on the capital investment. So these four main objective should be considered for a best tariff fictions. So what may be the characteristics of the tariff is the tariff should be have the characteristics of fairness, simplicity, reasonable profit, attractive, proper return. These five are the best desirable characteristics. Now, what is a proper return? The proper return of a tariff should have the electricity supply enable to ensure. Yeah, proper return means to ensure the continuous and reliable service to the consumer. The electrical supply consumption. For example, if a company is consuming the electrical supply, they should return the amount in a continuous and reliable manner. So ensure the return of the tariff must be continuous and reliable in service. And while fixing the tariff for the fairness, a big consumer means they should be charged at a lower rate than a small consumer. That is the fairness. And next point for fairness is a consumer whose load condition is almost remain constant should be charged at a lower rate than the one who load conditions from the idea. It is because this fairness here, it is because the increased energy consumption spreads the fixed charges over a greater number of units that reduces the overall cost for the producing the electrical energy. Then the tariff fixing should be simple, complicated, and may cause opposition from the public. And the tariff, while fixing the tariff, the profit should be fixed as a reasonable due to the non permutations in the market, and the investment is reliably safe, and the profit is restricted to 8% per annum. And while fixing the tariff, effort should be made to fix the tariff in such a way that consumer can pay the tariff so easily. So this type of attractive should be fixed in the tariff. And what are all the type of tariff means? There are nearly 7 different type of tariff. And first is uniform rate tariff or simple tariff. Second one is flat rate tariff. And third one is the block rate tariff. Then fourth one is the two-part tariff. Fifth one is the maximum demand tariff. And sixth one is the power factor tariff. And the seventh one is the three-part tariff. Let us see detailing about each type of tariffs. And the first one, what is a simple tariff? Simple tariff is nothing but a fixed rate is fixed for a unit consumed. If a consumer consumes 1 unit, means for 1 unit, a fixed rate will be fixed for the consumption of that particular unit. So the consumption of electrical energy is recorded by means of an energy meter. By fixing the energy meter, the customer consumption is consumed by 1 unit per kilowatt hour. And fixing the cost for the tariff is very simple in manner. Only one disadvantage in simple tariff is that the cost per unit delivered is very high and does not encourage the use of the electricity. No discriminations between the different type of consumers. For all consumers in simple tariff, there will be a fixed cost. Small customer and the big customer, that is the domestic as well as the industry. Both the tariff will be same. This may be a disadvantage for fixing the tariff. So next one is the flat rate tariff. And what is the flat rate tariff means? The customers are grouped into different classes, and each class of consumers is charged at a different uniform rate. For example, if we example, the flat rate per unit for lighting load may be 60 paise, and whereas it may be 55 paise for power load. And the diversity and load factor are taken into account in flat rate. Just fixing, for example, 1 to 100 unit means fixing a amount for that usage of first 100 units. Then next 100 to 50 units, 150 units, fixing an amount. Like this, flat rate tariff will be fixed for the per unit consumption of. An advantage in this is simple in calculation, easy to calculate, and the tariff is more fair to different type of consumers. And the disadvantage is the tariff is here also so expensive, and the charge is constant irrespective of the magnitude of the energy consumed. Since the tariff varies accordingly to the way of supply is used, and a separate meter are required for the lighting load and power load. Separate meter should be fixed for the lighting load and power load. This may be a main disadvantage of the flat rate tariff. And what is black rate? Block rate tariff. Here also the energy consumption is block rate. Here also the energy consumption is divided into blocks, and the price per unit is fixed in each blocks. So the price per price per unit in the first block is the highest. First block is the highest, and the succeeding block processing, the rate of the tariff are reduced for the usage of the blocks of energy. So first may be the highest rate, and next succeeding blocks will be the rate will be reduced. And the use for majority of residential and small commercial consumers. Advantage here, the advantage is that load factor is increased, the cost of generation is reduced, and the consumer get an incentives to consume more electricity energy, consume more electricity energy. Some incentives will be given this type of black rate tag. And the disadvantage is lack of measure of the consumer's demand. Here the consumer demand cannot be measured by using this type of flat rate tariffs. And the fourth one is the two-part tariff. Here the two-part tariff, there are having two components. One is the fixed charge, and next one is the running charge. In fixed charge depends upon the maximum demand of the consumer, and running charge depends upon the number of unit consumed by the consumers. So how we can calculate the two part means the total charges equal to the total charges of the two part made calculated by total charge equal to rupees of charges per kilowatt of maximum demand plus addition to that charges per kilowatt hour of energy consumed. So the charges of kilowatt of maximum demand plus the charges of kilowatt hour of energy consumed can be added, and the total rupees will be given for this. And main advantage means recovers the fixed charge and easy to understand by consumer, easy to understand by consumer. And the main disadvantage of this two-part tariff is the consumers has to pay the fixed charges irrespective of the facts whether he has consumed or not. This may be a main disadvantage. These factors should be considered. And there is always error in accessing the maximum demand of the consumer. So in two-part tariff, this main two disadvantages should be considered. And what is the maximum demand tariff? This maximum demand tariff is similar to that of the access of the two-part tariff what we have seen before. Only difference in maximum demand is nothing but installing a maximum demand meter in the premises of the consumer. So fixing a separate meter to calculate the maximum demand meter, and mostly applicable to big consumers, very big HT lines consumers, very big organizations and industries only. Maximum demand tariff will be meter will be fixed, and a separate calculation separate amount will be considered for the maximum demand usage, plus the two-part tariff will be procedures will be followed for that the consumer for the tariff calculations. And not suitable, this maximum is not suitable for small, as we said before, not suitable for small consumers. Okay, the separate maximum demand meter is required to implement this maximum demand tariff. And what is power factor tariff? Power factor tariff is nothing but in which the power factor of the consumer consumed is taken into consideration. This should be considered. This should be considered. A consumer with a low power factor should be given penalty. Then three type of power factor tariffs are three types are considered. One is the KVA maximum demand tariff, and second one is the sliding scale tariff, and third one is the kilowatt and kVA tariff. These are the three type of power factor tariff. And next one is the three-part tariff. What is the three-part tariff? Is there some addition to that of two-part tariff? Here the total charge made from the consumer is split into three parts. That is then fixed charge, then semi-fixed charge, and running charge. That one is the running charge. Then how to calculate the three-part tariff? The total charge requirement equal to rupees into fixed charge made during the billing. Each billing includes the interest and depreciation and labor cost should be considered, plus charges per kilowatt of maximum demand plus charges per kilowatt hour of energy consumed. So these three factors should be considered for the three-part tariff. For example, a simple electricity bill calculation for your understanding. A simple how we can calculate in our home itself, domestic for the domestic or industrial, how the energy consumptions of the meter the energy consumptions of the domestic or industrial, how we can calculate with a small number we can see this. The category and the consumers of slabs are given. If domestic or hand looms or old age homes, constrained homes, nutrition needs center, etc. First, the consumption of 100 units per bi-monthly. As per the government norms, if we consume 0 to 100 units for bi-monthly, the energy charges per unit is energy charges rupees per unit is 3. is if the total consumption of the energy is between 0 to 100 units means the energy charges there will be energy charges will be 3 rupees per unit, and next second one is the fixed charges for 2 months, that's the 30 rupees per service, and the energy charges rupees per government subsidies is 0, and fixed charge for 2 months after government subsidies is 0. If the consumption above 100 to 200 units bi-monthly means, then is between, if the consumption of the meter is between 100 to 200 means, the second fixed charge for monthly 2 months usage will be 30 for service, and the third one is the energy charge. Energy charge will be 1.5 1.50 rupees, 1.50 paise, 1 rupee and 50 paise per unit for government subsidy will be calculated, and the fixed charge for 2 months is 20 rupees 20 per service will be considered. So if we consume the energy consumption unit is the unit consumption is between 100 to 200 unit means these calculations may be put, and you have to calculate the total amount per unit for EB bill calculation. If the consumers energy meters energy consumption is between 2 to above 200 unit, that is the 201 to 500 unit means, then the energy charges is different. Above, if we consider above 200 unit means, the amount of energy charges is different. So before the energy consumption is below 200 unit means the energy charges per unit is 3, and if we consume to above 200 unit means the energy charges will be 4.60 paise, 60 paise, plus fixed charge for 2 months is 40 rupees per service, and if 100 to 200 unit means the charges will be 2 rupees per unit, and above 200 to 500 units means the fixed charges per unit will be 3 rupees, and the fixed charges for 2 months is here 30 rupees per service. So with including all these energy charges rate and fixed charges rate, then energy charges government subsidies rate, then fixed charge for 2 months after government subsidies calculations, if you put together this calculation, you will get the electricity bill amount, total amount. Then if the customer consume above 500 unit bi-monthly, above 500 means, the if the unit consumption is between 200 to 500 unit, the energy charges will be 4.60, but the fixed charges for 2 months is 50 per service, 50 per service, and the energy charges of rupees per unit government subsidy is 3.50, and the fixed charges also increases as 40 per service, and above 500, if the total energy consumption is above 500 unit means energy charges per unit is 6.60, then all other tariff will be same 6.60, where the energy charges will be goes on increasing. So according to these calculations, what the government is saying, the energy consumption is between 0 to 100 means free, then 100 to 200 means some changes will be given, then if the total consumption exceeds the 200 units means the tariff rupees rates are changing. If we consume the unit above 500 unit means the total tariff energy charges and fixed charges and energy charges per bi-monthly rates are different. So by this, using this simple calculation, you can easily calculate the energy bill calculation, energy meter bill calculation for your domestic or Indian purpose. And next is the demand side management. What is demand side management? Demand side management is controlling the quality of energy which is used at specific times to reduce the system demand, and balance the system supply and demand. And what is the energy conservation opportunities? Energy conservation opportunities is to reduce the demand by load management and reduce the consumptions by improving the energy use efficiency. We can use a DSM load tap changing method. If we implement the DSM method means before and after, before the and after the values, the peak demand of the values will be changed. And this is the load leveling strategies. And definition for load shape objectives are peak, what is peak keeping, and value fillings, and load shiftings, and what is conservations, and load building. What is the load building? These are the definitions of load objectives. And recommendation for to achieve the widespread of DSM success, energy efficiency. For energy efficiency, new technologies can be implemented, and widespread load leveling. Three methods can be implemented. That is the real-time pricing and off-peak incentives, and third one is the energy storage. And the last topic in the today's session, we are going to see about what is a safety audit. What is safety audit? A systematic, periodic, and objective evaluation of the safety performance against the establishment of safety with the safety some standard measures and legal requirements is called as the safety auditing. Safety auditing. And different type of safety auditing standards are. One is the national standard. What are the national standard? National standard for auditing, safety auditing, we are using national standards, so IS 14489. This code is used for the practice on occupational safety and health audit. The next one is the OISD 145 is the guidelines for internal safety audit. And international standard audits, we are using the British 5-star audit. And regarding the safety audit is the risk management tool for any organization, and the safety audit improvements tools for any organization. The safety audit must have both management and operational approach. Should have both management and operational approach. But safety audit as per IS 14489 is mandated for the all hazardous industries. We have to use the what are the guidelines used in the IS standard method we have to follow for the auditing. For safety auditing, what are the safety auditing methods? Fire risk management should be followed, and the incident analysis, quantitative risk analysis, advisory and training should be given to the employees. As per the OSHA 18001 OHS health and safety should be implemented. For safety does not happen by accident. So prepare and prevent, don't repeat and repeat. Thank you.